I do the YouTube live for people who are not on Facebook and everything, so they can go back and see it, you know, what they want to see and everything like that. Okay, we're YouTube live. So, okay. Whenever, let's see, we're YouTube live. Okay. And let's do this. For you people out there in YouTube land, y'all know how I do the show. So, we're live. All right. Good morning, everybody. Ear to the ground 197. I'm your host, Bryan Foley, and you listening to the sultry sounds of Lord Yancey. Good morning, good brother.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Hey, man, it's good to be here.
Yeah, this is Johnny. This is a big brother. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get the camera together. I had to get up and adjust the camera and everything, and move the thing down and everything like that. Man, thank you for coming into the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. I got our state representative sitting over there, Yusef Robbie, on deck, getting ready to come back in and everything. And you got my board lit up already, man. The girls is hollering and everything. And I tell them all the time, I got some friends out there, Tracy Davis, owner of Sweet Touch, Tracy Sweet Touch Production. You remember, she the ones making you the mask and all that old kind of stuff.
She bad.
Yeah, she bad. And Beta and them out there. Okay. Now, I like everybody who come to my show. I don't like you, yes. I don't like Johnny. I don't like you. I don't like him. He up there blowing his horn. He got all the girls hollering and screaming and stuff like that. I got them going crazy. They don't even see me you at the festival no more. They don't even see them when they see Yancey. I told them that you was coming here. I got folks on the show ain't never been on the show before commenting and stuff like that, man.
I like it.
I don't like it.
I wouldn't like me either, brother. I can't even mad at you.
You can't be mad at me, brother. Lord, yes. Okay. They up here talking about yes, Lord. And Deborah gone somewhere. You don't even come on the show. You don't even sleep this time of morning. All these folks told you did this morning. Good brother, good to see you again, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, just recording and just enjoying.
Okay, I'm gonna push this microphone. Johnny, now he want to talk like he cool and everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything like that.
Let's get me right.
Get you right. Okay, how's that? Everything? Can y'all hear Lord Yancey out there? Somebody let me know if y'all can hear him. Okay, all right, okay. Yancey, what's going on, man? What you got on the schedule, man? First, what was the name of that song?
That was Happy.
Happy?
Yeah.
That's your latest single,
yes,
correct? Okay, all right. Getting the thing, everything. Big brother got my camera all out of. I got to get the wide angle lens on him and stuff like that and everything. Yeah. That was Happy. That's your newest release, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, how can we get that song?
Hey, man, anywhere that they have digital music, you will find Happy.
Okay, find Happy then. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. So what's been going on since the last time we've seen you?
Hey, man, just recording, working on a new project.
Okay.
Got some heavy hitters on it, and man, just keeping that creative process alive.
Okay. All right. If I backtrack a little bit, if you don't mind. First time I met you, matter of fact, I'm be honest, first time I heard of Yancey was through Johnny, sitting in the studio, like I said. Was through Johnny at the Johnny Lawrence Jazz Concert Series down in Riverside Park at that time. Since that time, we moved to another location, right? How'd you enjoy it, man? What do you think of Ypsilanti, man? How did you enjoy Ypsilanti, man?
Man, it's changed a lot.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, I used to live here when I was a student at the University of Michigan.
Okay.
And so it was good to come back and see all the life that's taking place, and the concert just was like amazing. I mean, I'm like, this is in Ypsi?
Right.
I felt like I was out on the jazz festivals across the country, man. It's Ypsi on the map, baby.
Yes, sir. And it was persons such as yourself, along with Johnny Lawrence's vision, that put it on the map, man. How'd you feel, man, when you was out on the stage, when you came down and seen that? Like you said, you're from Ypsi, and then it was kind of seeing a little different, man. How did you feel when you came into the park, into the atmosphere, man?
Man, it was amazing. Okay. I mean, I could have been anywhere in the world. It just had that feel. The stage was beautiful. The sound was just perfection. Everything was in place. The crowd was right. I mean, come on, man.
Okay.
I felt like I was at home with family.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know, man. Because we've moved across the river, across the lake, if you will, right? Yeah, and we ain't reinventing that magic. We just moving the magic to another place. You get what I'm saying? We're gonna be expanding a little bit. We're gonna be at Ford Lake Park this year, and we're gonna be on Fridays. And now I kind of seen the lineup a little bit, man. You in there somewhere?
Man, that's what they tell me.
Johnny in there? What's happening?
We brought him back, man.
You brought him back?
I think he's coming on the first Friday in August.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see the first Friday in August. I know y'all can't hear him out there. What's happening, Tony? And all the ladies out there, Sarah Ford. I got people, look, like I said, man, there's people signing in and signing on. Ain't never been on the show before. I put a poster up there that said, Lord Yancey on the show, and they all out here. Johnny, don't bring, I told you before, don't bring him back to this, man.
And it's family, baby. It's family.
I understand, man. It's all love, but I'm gonna hate on it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hate on it and everything. Yeah. What you think about that? I'm gonna get Yusef on and everything like that. And we really enjoy you taking the time out coming on here. We're gonna see you the 1st of August.
That's right.
Okay. Now I'm the one asking all the questions, doing all the talking and stuff like that, because I'm a music guy. Anything you'd like to share with our audience before you get out of here? First of all, man, he came from out of town, right? We didn't just come down the street. He came from Wisconsin to be on Ear to the Ground 197 this morning. So
Right.
anything you'd like to share with our viewers
Hey,
before we get
man,
them out of here?
Join me on Facebook, Lord Yancey. Instagram,
You see, I
Lord
said
Yancey.
that. Yo, Lord Yancey. That's why I don't want him in here no more.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Go check out the website, lordyanceymusic.com. So I
Okay.
look forward to seeing you guys out at August
Yeah.
1st.
August
Friday.
1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
First
right.
Friday in August.
Yeah. That's August 1st, first Friday in August. We're going to be at Ford Lake Park, what used to be called the Gyro Park, right? And man, it's going to be, we got some special things going out there. You know, I've been kind of, me and Johnny talking and stuff like that. But who we got coming up first, Johnny?
First is gonna be Randy Scott.
Randy Scott coming up, right?
And then Lynn Roundtree,
Who was Lynn Roundtree?
trumpet player.
I know they can't hear us on here, Johnny, but I want to kind of advertise us a little bit, right?
Lynn Roundtree, trumpet player. He's had
Lynn Roundtree,
3 #1 songs on
Right.
Billboard jazz charts.
3 #1 songs.
Yep.
Yep.
Randy's got the #1 song out there now.
Hold on a minute. You got the jazz artist who got the #1 jazz song in the country coming to Ypsilanti.
Yeah. Yep.
See it on the map, baby.
Ypsi on the map, man. We're gonna keep it on the map. Yep. And so before we get out of here, Johnny, excuse me, Yancey, sorry about that. I'm getting mad at you, right? Got all the girls hollering and screaming and stuff, You got anything you want to share with us before you want to leave, good brother?
Hey, man, I look forward to seeing the audience at the show, and let's just make it happen, baby.
Okay, all right. That's Lord Yancey. He will be here 1st of August. You can find his new song, Happy, on all the digital media outlets. I'm listening to him right now on iTunes, is where I found the song up and playing it right there. You want to hit us on out, or you want me to take you on out of here?
Take us on out.
I'll take you on out. How about that? Okay. You know what we did? How about let me have that back? I'm gonna take that back. I might need that. I'm gonna take this back and do this right here. How about we do this? Okay, y'all know how I do. I'm from the hood. We just make stuff work as we go. Y'all listen to Lord Yancey there. Y'all can get that on iTunes. What's the other one? Spotify. Can you get it at the bop shop, Johnny?
Yeah, get it at the bop shop.
Get it at the bop shop. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna let the good brother put his horn together while y'all listening on out there. Hey, Johnny, he all up close in the camera. The girls talking about trying to look. Hey, look up at that camera, man, so the folks can get good. They right there in the camera right there. Bend down a little bit. Let them see you one time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit, get Yusef back in here and everything.
Got to put you back in too.
Okay, all righty.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, good brother.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
Yep, okay. Yep.
You say, well, this is.
All right.
All right. Hey, thank you.
Gail
Have a
was saying,
seat there.
Gail was saying she was having a little bit of trouble hearing.
She's probably on YouTube.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else heard it. Yeah. Okay.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. We're gonna get
That
on
was
it.
excellent.
That was excellent.
Wow.
You like that? Yeah.
That was good.
Let's do a little something right here.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Turn that one off.
We'll move this out the way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is still him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ear to the Ground 197. Like I said, I'm your host. My name is Bryan Foley, and we just listened to the sounds of Yancey, Lord Yancey, and that song right there was entitled Happy. That's from his latest CD and stuff like that. And oh, Deb, so now you got to go. Okay, now you got to go now. You ain't gonna stay around.
I'm not special
you
enough.
ain't special
I'm not
enough.
special enough. It's okay.
All right, it's okay. We understand. All right, you got it.
That
right?
was pretty good, though. That was
yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, what you think about that?
Oh man, that was excellent.
Yeah.
What a way to start the program here.
Yeah.
I mean, just the depth and his presence too
Yeah.
in the room. You know,
Yeah.
you can feel it. I know you were hating on him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hating on him. I see you days. You see, hey, Yusuf, I had to adjust the camera and everything and move everything, you know, because he was arriving a little bit late, you know, as yourself was. A little construction down, you know, when we're doing the roads here in the city of Ypsilanti on Huron Street and on Hamilton Street.
Mm-hmm.
So traffic's a little back up. So we didn't have time to get everything set up perfect 100% and stuff like that. Okay. And thank you, Vita, for reminding. We ask everybody to hit Y1 into the comment box. We ask that you hit like, and we like that you hit share. Why do I ask them to do that, Yusuf? Because I believe in Ypsilanti first.
Mm-hmm.
So we ask that you put Y1, love you too, Deborah Phillips. We ask that you put Y1 into the comment box, like and share.
Y1.
Yeah, it stimulates the algorithm. Anyway, I have State Representative Yusuf Rabi, who is the Democratic floor leader,
Yes,
if
sir.
I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir, you are correct.
And what area do you represent?
So my district is is the city of Ann Arbor. It's the south side, the west side, the east side of Ann Arbor, and a little piece of the north side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically my district. It's all within the city of Ann Arbor.
Okay. All right. Okay. And that's where you currently hold office at, represent the people,
Correct.
if you will, right?
Correct.
But I'm understanding you're doing something a little different this election season round.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. I mean, even in my current role, you know, again, the title is state
Mhm.
representative, meaning
Right.
I have a district, but my role is to the people of the whole state.
Right.
And so I work for everybody. And what I'm looking at doing next is running for county commissioner. So I have filed, I do not have a primary on the ballot. I am on the ballot for the August primary and November general. You know, yeah, so I'm running for county commissioner. And again, my district will be mostly contained in Ann Arbor, but again, my role would be that of county commissioner. So my work would transcend just the city of Ann Arbor, and I'd be working all across our great county.
Okay, great. I asked you back, and you kind of said you wanted to come back.
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? Because we had some conversations that took place off camera, and we found that some of our ideologies, some of our philosophies, and some of our life experiences actually lined up pretty good. Gail says adjust the volume. Is anybody else can't hear the sound other than Gail? My meters look fine and everything like that. So what I will do is I will just turn it up just a little bit and make sure that we do have a little bit of sound, just on the safe. Okay, step away from it. All right. Okay.
Got to make sure Gail's good.
Yeah, make sure she's good. How's that? Y'all pardon me for walking away from the camera and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't hear anybody else. Gail, you sure you doing all right? That you got your hearing aids in on this morning? First of all, she might not have her hearing aids on. Okay. All right. My sister, good morning, Sister Fonville. Fonville says she can hear us just fine. So that must be Gail on you. Yeah. Okay. She probably got one of them cricket phones, you know. Anyway, we found out that you and I had some of the same. Margaret, good morning, Margaret. Everybody tuned in to come see you.
Hey, look at that. All right. Now I don't feel as bad.
All right. Okay. Right. All right. So we have Yusuf Rabi in this morning and stuff like that. And like I said, we talked off camera and we shared a lot of same ideologies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And we thought,
and I think we even got some of that on camera when we were talking too.
We were
and forth. But I mean, I think there's a lot of depth there, you know, in terms of life experience and stuff like that. So I'm glad to be back. I mean, you have a fantastic show here. And, you know, I'm glad you didn't tell me that Lord Yancey was going to be on until I was already in the car, because I might have turned right around and I'm not following that.
And you talking about that? Yeah, I want to lock the door. Right. Brother was up talking to the ceiling. He was talking to the ceiling. I had to move the camera up, stuff like that. Man. Yeah. Good morning, Margaret. If we can, can we talk about voting?
Yes.
Voting rights and the potential of loss of voting rights.
Yes.
Okay. Where do we stand at locally where do we stand at in the state
Yeah.
and in potential in the country? A lot of people don't know that there's a potential of a loss of voting rights.
Yes.
Share with us, one of my audience, a little bit of what's
Yeah.
going on out here.
So this is real serious. I mean, I think you and the rest of your audience knows the history, right, behind voting and how we got from where we were to where we are, the lives that were lost, the blood that was shed, to get basic voting rights in this country. What they are trying to do, and when I say they, I mean primarily the Republican Party, because they understand when there is an election and Black voters show up, when Black women show up, they tend to lose elections.
Right.
And so what it appears, what it is that now that we have secured in the 2018 election, we passed Promote the Vote. Which says you can get an absentee ballot, no reason absentee ballot. You can register to vote on the day of the election. We're removing barriers. We're peeling back the different, ways that we've prevented people from accessing the ballot in the past. And when we did that in 2018, we showed in not only in 2018, but then in 2020, the impact that has when more people vote. And they got scared. They got really scared. They got scared when their guy, Donald Trump, lost his election. And they thought it was voter fraud, but really what it was the voters turned out and they do not agree with Donald Trump's agenda. And so instead of, engaging in a normal election process, they have decided to engage in a process of disenfranchisement. A process of disenfranchisement, which has, again, its roots in that historical racism, in that Jim Crow racism that we have seen for decades, and that has kind of ebbed and flowed, but has never really gone away. And so, but if I could go into detail in terms of what they're actually proposing now, because what they put on the table, and I will go into a little detail on what it actually is. So there's a 39 bill package that the Senate Republicans introduced that goes into a bunch of different areas of election law to try to make it harder for people to vote. And so they're doing these 39 bills. Now, what's in these bills? So one of the things that I'll highlight is around drop boxes, right? Drop boxes are a really important and convenient way for people to vote.
Okay, what's a drop box?
Drop box. So if you're an absentee voter, if you can't make it to the polls on election day, you get your ballot mailed to you. And basically, if you are within 2 weeks of the election and you have your absentee ballot, but you have not mailed it in, you don't want to risk it. You don't want to put that ballot back in the mail.
Into the mailbox.
Into the
United States mailbox.
Into the United States Postal Service mailbox, because it may not make it in time, right? We've seen mail delays, we've seen stuff like that, and we want to make sure that your vote gets there on time. And so different municipalities have provided what's called a drop box location, where you can go and bring your ballot. You lick the envelope, you seal it, you sign the front of it, and you bring it, and you can physically drop it in the drop box. And that is equivalent to you voting. You're casting your vote that way. And so that's what a drop box basically is. And in places around Washtenaw County, in cities around Washtenaw County, they provided those drop boxes in a number of locations.
We had one at Park Ridge Community Center.
Yes.
Yeah, we did have one there. Okay.
Yes. And so there were drop boxes in a variety of locations. And what had happened is that obviously was a very convenient way to vote, right? The Republicans hate that. They hate that because it means more people are able to cast their ballot. You can do it on your way to work. You can do it on your way to drop your kids off, in the morning. So what they've done, one of the bills that they've introduced says any new drop box that a city decides they want to put out can be basically vetoed by the county board of canvassers.
Say that one more time.
So if a city wants to put a drop box out, so say they want to put this at Park Ridge
Community Center.
Say they want to put it at Park Ridge. Under their bill, the county board of canvassers could say, no, you can't do that to a community. They could say no. Now who is on the county board of canvassers?
That's okay. Right, here we go. Right. Okay.
Who is on the county board of canvassers? So even in a strongly Democratic county, in Wayne County, Washtenaw County, in every county, all 83 counties, the county board of canvassers is 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans in every county.
In every county. Okay.
So that means that you need one of each party to approve the ballot box, to
Okay,
approve the drop box.
Okay.
Right? You have to have the 2 Democrats and you have to have a Republican sign off on it.
that ain't sounding too good.
No. So
Okay.
if you want to put your drop box at Park Ridge Community Center,
Mhm.
you have to get at least one of the 2 Republicans on the board of canvassers to say that that's okay. Now imagine
Mhm.
that in Washtenaw County,
Mhm.
imagine that in Wayne County, imagine that in Oakland County.
Right.
With, and so I think this is directly aimed at Black communities, and it's directly aimed at counties
Mhm.
where the Republicans have no positions of power other than this board of canvassers,
Right.
because they have a 50-50 split. So they use that opportunity, they use that leverage. So that's one of the areas that they're trying to come at voting rights, is to restrict ballot drop box
Mhm.
access, which is a huge factor for working people in particular, for senior citizens, for people that are not able to be at the polls on election day. The second piece of this is around identification,
Mhm.
right? And providing identification when you get to the polls. Now, Michigan is a state where we have laws that essentially, if you get to the polls and you forgot your ID at home, or you don't have access to a driver's license or a state ID for whatever reason, you can sign basically an attestation that says, I under penalty of perjury,
Okay.
I am attesting that I am a registered voter and that I am allowed to vote here.
Mhm.
Now, of course, they do have to verify that you're in the poll book.
Correct.
And they have to do all that. They have to have you on file. That's all in there. And they have to verify your signature and all that stuff. There's a bunch of different ways to check it. But there is a way currently to vote without an ID. And they want to take that away. They want to make sure that that is no longer an option.
So it's saying is everybody has to have a valid Michigan driver's license or valid Michigan state ID, correct?
Right.
And they want to take that away.
And there are, yes, right. And there are many people that do not have that.
Okay.
And I'll go into this just a little bit if I could.
Yeah, take your time.
So we have in Washtenaw County several years ago, when I was on the county board, the first time,
Mhm.
we created what was called the Washtenaw County ID program.
Okay.
And what that basically was, it provided a local form of ID that people could get if they could not access a driver's license or a state ID card. And the question came up, well, why can't somebody get a driver's license or a state ID card?
Mhm.
That it should be pretty easy to get, right? There are so many barriers in place to people getting it, right? And that's why we created the ID. And
Okay.
one of the best examples that was given to us when we had our commissioner meetings, we had testimony from people coming forward. One of the best examples that I had heard was actually our county sheriff, Jerry Clayton, who was supporting the project. He came forward and he said at that meeting, he said that his grandmother, who grew up in the Jim Crow South,
Right.
was never given a birth certificate.
Okay. Okay.
Never given a birth certificate. So when she moved to Michigan, she could never get a driver's license because she didn't have a birth certificate.
Correct. Correct.
So that's an individual that all of a sudden is disenfranchised from voting. If she can't have an ID, she can't vote under the Republican plan, right? What about if an individual is homeless, does not have an address, does not have a car to get to the Secretary of State's office, is not eligible to get a driver's license for that reason?
Okay.
What if that person is a senior citizen and their driver's license was taken away because they are no longer eligible to drive because they can't see or whatever else it is?
Well, wouldn't they qualify to get a state ID?
In theory, they would.
Okay.
But that person would then also have to get to the Secretary of State's office, apply for a state ID, and then receive it in the mail. So yes, in theory, they would.
Okay.
But they would also have to go through all those hoops to get it. Every hoop that you put, every barrier that you put, is one less person that's not getting that ID.
Gotcha.
And that is why our state law currently provides for that latitude to basically say, if you don't have an ID, we will still allow you to vote if you're in the voter rolls, if we verified your signature and you attest under penalty of perjury, which is felony. If you lie on that, you're going to jail. And people sign it and they see it and they know it. It's not, and so there are still some safeguards in place. There's many safeguards in place to make sure that, but we are allowing people to vote. And the other circumstance that I would highlight too, that is another thing that often can happen, is even if the person has an ID,
Okay.
even if they have a driver's license, let's say it's election day, you have, first of all, a lot of people don't have time to vote
Mhm.
because they got childcare, they got work, they got all this stuff going on. Maybe they don't have a car.
Right.
They're getting on the ride, and they're trying to make it to drop, get their kids to
Mhm.
school and get to work. And then in the evening, they got an hour between 7 and 8 o'clock to get to the polls. So they get on the ride bus, they come back to, their polling location.
Mhm.
They get there and they realize, dang, I forgot my ID at work, or I
Right.
forgot my
Right.
ID at home.
I do that often.
Right.
Okay.
They get to the polls.
Mhm.
They got 45 minutes left to vote. They walk in and the poll worker says, you can't vote without ID.
Right. Now,
Are you going to be able to get it home, get your
Get your
ID?
ID, right.
So
So-
that person's vote is out, right?
Now I know that because it has happened to me when I voted. I didn't have my ID on it,
Yeah.
and I was able to. I can't remember what the process was to attest that I was a registered
Right.
voter, and I was still allowed to
Yes.
vote. So that's out of the window right now.
That is currently still allowed.
That's allowed.
It is currently still allowed. The
Okay.
Republican legislation that I was just talking about is
Exactly.
trying to take
That away, right?
Yes.
Just for the clarity of the
For the clarity of the people,
Yeah.
yes. So it is currently that under current law, you can go in and you can still vote without ID. If these bills pass, then they will change that so that it is not allowed, but they have not passed yet.
Right.
So,
Thank you for breaking that down and making it clear. I don't ascribe, and I haven't voted Republican. I used to be a member of the Republican Party.
Mhm.
Exactly. I was an elected official. I was a precinct delegate at one time. It's been 25 years ago or so, right? And I haven't voted Republican on anything since 25 years.
Mhm.
And I left the Republican Party when Bush came in,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just sharing something with you. And I can see the flaws between both parties.
Absolutely.
You get me?
Yeah.
And so I don't identify myself as a Republican or a Democrat, right? But I have voted, like I said, for Democrats the last 25
Mhm.
years, okay? But what I do know is that the Democratic Party is the best vehicle to represent the people,
Mhm.
the working class. I don't like to use this term, persons of color,
Mhm.
and the disenfranchised, those who are not affluent.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Mhm.
But however, the Democratic Party has been taking us for granted
Mhm.
since, the 60s.
Yep.
And we voted Democratic as Black people, but we're not getting as much return as we can,
Mhm.
as we have been for our vote that we have been giving.
Yes.
Okay. But this right here, I see is something different.
Mhm.
You get what I mean?
Mhm.
Because whether you vote Republican or whether you vote independent or whether you vote Democrat or whatever it may be, you had the potential to lose that vote,
Right.
even if you were voting for it.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
So this is something that we need to get on board and make sure that we come out to the polls.
Right.
Now, is this being put up, Youssef, on the? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So that's a great question. So
Okay.
so let me talk through where the
Mhm.
different avenues that they're trying to further this agenda.
Okay.
Right? So we talked about the drop boxes. We
Mhm.
talked about the ID voting. There's, again, 39 bills total. That's just 2 of them of
Right.
the 39. So there's a bunch of bad stuff that they're trying to do. They introduced these bills in the Senate. They introduced some of the bills in the House
Mhm.
also, and they ran them through the legislature recently.
Right.
And they passed them through the House. They passed them through the Senate. Governor Whitmer vetoed all of them.
Right.
And in fact, I think she vetoed them at the NAACP event downtown Detroit.
Okay,
Recently. Yeah.
The world's largest.
The
chicken,
world's largest
chicken.
Yes, that's right.
I'll say it. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think she was there. She
Okay,
actually, in front of the whole
All right.
group,
Okay,
vetoed
that's-
them all. So she vetoed
That's a
them.
different story.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
right,
different
good
story. We'll
Okay.
talk about that.
Right.
But she vetoed all of them. The
Uh-huh.
bottom line, she vetoed all of them. And so those didn't go anywhere legislatively. But what they were doing was they were testing the waters
Okay.
to see how much they could get done,
Mhm.
how many Dem votes they could get or Republican votes they could get, how many votes they could put up on the board on each one of these. Because their ultimate goal is actually not, they know that they can't get through the government,
Right.
but their ultimate goal is to exploit a loophole in our state constitution.
Break that down.
So what it is there's three types of ballot measures.
Mhm.
You can overturn a current law. The citizens can't overturn a current law. You can pass a new law, or you can pass a constitutional amendment.
Mhm.
The second one that I mentioned, passing a new law, citizen initiated law, that one, in the Constitution, it says, once you get the signatures that you need, you go to the Board of Canvassers, the State Board of Canvassers, they certify the signatures, they say, yes, they're all valid, you got your signatures. Then it opens up a 40-day window under our Constitution, a 40-day window in which the legislature,
Okay.
without the approval of the governor, just the legislature acting alone, can adopt it into law.
Mhm.
So what they are now doing is they have essentially taken those 39 bills
Okay.
and they've written them all into an amendment, into a initiated law, a ballot measure.
Right.
I believe it's called Secure My Vote, which is very misleading, but that's what they're calling it, Secure My Vote. And so they put it all in this ballot measure and they're going around, they're getting signatures.
Mhm.
But their goal is not to put it on the ballot for the voters in November. Their goal is to get the signatures, get the Board of Canvassers to certify it, and then exploit that 40-day loophole and get it to the legislature to pass, the House, the Senate, and the governor doesn't even need to touch it. And then it becomes law.
Okay.
So that's what people need to look out for.
Right.
So my message to folks is do not sign that petition.
Mhm. Okay.
If somebody asks you to sign a petition about voting rights, make sure you read it.
See, I hate to interrupt you.
Yeah.
That is why I go out to Myers all the time,
Yeah.
right? Myers, whatever. And I see people lurking in the parking lot
Yeah.
with these petitions,
Mhm.
right? And I've heard that said, and I don't sign the petition, and I'm glad that I haven't signed it because at that particular time, I didn't know what I was signing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that to the attention of Ear to the Ground 197.
So that is a good segue to talk about. It is confusing,
Yes.
right? Because people approach you, and even I have been confused. Like
Right.
people have come up to me and they said, "Do you want us to, sign this ballot measure to make it easier for veterans to vote or something like that?"
Right. Right.
And so I had to stand there and read it. I had to, and you can't do this if you don't have time, but I had the time, so I stood there and I read what it was, because there are two election related ballot measures out there. One of them is the bad one, the Secure My Vote, the one that's trying to take voting rights away. And then there's a second one that those of us that support voting rights are doing to try to circumvent what the Republicans are doing. So now we're getting a little complicated, but let me try to explain it a little bit more. So there's those bad 39 bills. They're doing this Secure My Vote ballot measure to get the legislature to approve it. Without a vote of the people, it becomes law. The only way to undo that would be to either pass a citizen initiated repeal of that, or what is the one thing that supersedes those state laws? It's the state constitution.
Okay.
So there's a group of us that have gotten together and said, we need to basically get ahead of them and enshrine all of these rights in the state constitution, so that even if they pass this ballot measure, this Secure My Vote ballot measure, that we basically supersede them with a constitutional amendment. Now, the Constitution of the state of Michigan is a document that is owned and controlled solely by the people of the state of Michigan. The legislature has no role in being able to change or amend the state constitution.
Right.
Other than to put a measure before the voters, but they cannot unilaterally do anything.
Michigan Supreme Court can't do it also.
Cannot do it.
Okay,
Yeah, they
all right.
can't change. They could say that something in the Constitution is unconstitutional, I guess, but
Right.
actually, no, they really couldn't.
They
I don't
couldn't do
think
that
they
either.
could.
Okay. All right.
It's only the federal Supreme Court
Mhm.
could say that something in our state constitution is
It's
unconstitutional.
unconstitutional. Okay.
But if it's in the state Supreme, if it's in the state constitution, the state Supreme Court has to use that as their guiding document.
Right.
So it is the supreme document of the state of Michigan.
Okay. Right.
So there's another ballot measure, and then we're calling that one "Protect My Vote."
Okay. All right.
And that one is actually out there to undo, to preempt all of the bad things that they're saying. It's saying you have to be able to vote with that affidavit without having to provide ID, that you and it does do some stuff for overseas service members who are wanting to mail in their ballots. It allows their ballots to come in even after the election and still be counted. It enshrines a number of different protections in our state constitution. So that's why I'm saying, when somebody approaches you and they say, do you want to sign this? Make sure that you ask a lot of questions and make sure that you read what they want you to sign. And make sure you read there should be there's a short description at the top of their signature sheet that says it's a small summary of what the ballot measure does. And in there, you will see, if you see the piece about IDs and affidavits, that's the one that you probably want to sign, but you want to read each one of them before you sign anything. This is a confusing time for voters. So just make sure that you're doing your homework. And if you're not comfortable, then don't sign.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what Ear to the Ground 197 is about, bringing the information to the people, right? I have my own personal opinions on some things, but sometimes we need to hear from our legislator, from our local officials, so they can break it down and give you what the law says. And you've done a very good job of breaking that down and everything. I want to thank Gail Somerville for recommending that you come on this show, which is Ipsy Can I Share? And also Gail says, who can provide a list of what's good and bad for Black people? I don't know. Anyway, we get on that right now. And also the League of Women Voters, right, for putting this together. So we're here to put out information, right? And that's what we're saying for the Ear to the Ground 197 one night area. Okay. My next guest is coming up pretty soon. He's actually in the building. And before we get out of here, right, I want to go back to what you're campaigning for. Now, you're coming down from a state representative down to a level below, just underneath. Right.
County commission. Yes.
Okay, county commissioner. Some would call that being a professional politician, right? I can't place that label on you because you're actually doing the work for the people, and your work shows what you do. You get what I mean? Out here in the community, right? So as being in the 8th district, which is the downtown area, you get what I mean, where a lot of people wear the title Democrat and liberal, but actually they're conservative and Republican, right? So is there any words that you would like to share, just in case there's somebody out there from that area tuning in to Ear to the Ground 197? Why should we vote for Yusuf Rabi again? You've been around a long time. You get what I mean? Yeah. And that's my opinion. You get what I'm saying?
No, I think that's a great point. And I think there are a lot of, politicians that get sucked into that career politician.
Yeah, because once they get, power, what they saying, absolute power. Absolutely. And I can go on and on about some folks who need time for to sit their asses down. Right. Okay.
So here's what I would say. I feel like I'm pretty self-aware,
okay,
most of the time.
Right.
And I have seen, and again, we should get into this at a future program. Well, you have your guests.
You're welcome to come back anytime.
I love that.
Okay, right.
Let's do it. So, but I have seen some stuff in my time in Lansing, and some I have seen people get sucked into the politics, into the power, into the money.
Say that part again.
People get sucked into the politics, into the power, and into the money. And they do, and I see it, right? Yeah. And again, I'd be happy to go into detail on how that actually looks.
That's why you're coming back.
That's why I'm coming back. I'd be happy to go detail how that actually looks. Right. But in my 6 years in office, I have been ridiculed. I have been, ostracized because I am willing to stand up and be even the one no vote that says this is messed up. I don't care how much money you give me. I don't care how much influence I would get if I voted the other way. I don't care. Right. I'm going to be a no. And I'm going to stand strong for the people on this. And I don't care which companies or whatever, benefit. Right. I'm going to stand in my values. And so for me, if at any point in my service, and my values from the last conversation.
Yes, we did. Right.
If at any point in my service, I said, damn, I really sold out.
Right.
I don't know that I'd be even running for county commission, because I don't know that I'd be able to look at myself in the mirror and say, man, like you really sold out on that. Like, do you really want to keep doing this? Because as an elected official, it has always been my solemn duty and responsibility to serve the people only. Right. Right. And so when I think about what I'm going to do as a county commissioner, and I think about how I could serve and how I could benefit this county, I look back and I think, when there have been challenging times, when there have been votes, when it would have been much more convenient and easy for me to do the thing that would get me the politics, the power, and the money,
right,
and I didn't, I think to myself, I can go and I can do this at the county level, and I can do it without those corrupting influences because I have done it in the past. And because you can see those moments, you can see yourself in those moments and remember how it felt to be pushed into a corner, but to still be willing to fight for what you believe in. Those are the moments that I'm going to channel as a county commissioner to say, no, this is wrong. This is what we should do. And I'm going to keep fighting for the public. And the minute that I don't have that anymore is the minute that I shouldn't be in politics anymore. But you know, for me, that's kind of what guides me, right? Always got to fight for the people at the end of the day.
Yep. Ear to the ground 197. I'm your host, Bryan Foley. We're sitting here, state representative, Michigan state representative, also a Democratic floor leader, Yusef Robbery, now running for county commissioner of the 8th district. Let's get together after phone and talk about getting back you in so we can continue this conversation.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. So we want to thank you for taking your time out, and thank you for being patient. And we had the other artists and stuff like that.
He was
had a good
excellent.
time. He was excellent, but I ain't bringing him back in.
Works great.
All right. Yusef Robbery, state representative. Y'all get out there in Ann Arbor. Y'all vote for him. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Bring the commission. All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it easy. All right. Yeah.
Good luck in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. How you doing, sir? Good, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for
Have a seat.
having
Yep.
me.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
We all vaccinated up and everything like that. Okay. All right. What I'm gonna do is they can hear us a little bit over the music, so I'm gonna let the song play a little bit and introduce who you are and thank my sponsors and everything like that. Okay. All right. Yeah, a lot of people been asking me to come on. Okay. So I just, like I told you before, I ain't the brother who, you get what I mean?
I know.
But we got somebody, yeah, right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
And I'm thankful to the people who have, reached out to you.
Yeah, they my friends.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ear to the ground 197 that you just heard Alicia Reynolds, lead singer on that song, say, "Talk to me, be baby," right? Ear to the ground 197, that song was sung by Alicia Reynolds, Anthony Larkin, and that was me in the background, right? Okay. So we got in the studio today. Now, I ain't never seen the brother before. I don't think we.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe we've seen each other. But let me get this right. Pronounce your name.
Torchel Feaster.
Okay, Torchel Feaster. We got in the studio Torchel Feaster in here, right? And before we want to do, excuse me, sometimes I'm disarmed. You get what I mean? What I mean by I'm disarmed, right, is that I had a tooth pulled and I had to replace with the bridge, and I do a lot of cussing. You get what I mean? So I have to try to talk properly on the radio and stuff like that. So I'll mess up words and stuff like that. Anyway, Ear to the Ground 197 is brought to you by Tracy Sweet Touch Production. Y'all think about Tracy in her prayers, in your positive thoughts, and your energy, whatever. We got a family member that's not doing 100, but they're gonna be all right in the long run. So y'all think about Tracy, and I thank Vita for standing in, being her right hand lady out there. Tracy Sweet Touch Production, uniquely created gifts for any occasion. YouTube, you can find her at Pashley Intrigue Arts. Instagram at Tracy Sweet Touch Production. TikTok at Estella Fabulous. Pinterest, Miss Tracy E. Davis. Email at dallas2dakota@gmail.com. So let me slow that down again. dallas2dakota@gmail.com. And finally, you can find her at Tracy E. Davis on Facebook. I want to thank also our sponsor, Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center, located in beautiful downtown Ypsilanti, right across the street from the public library. That is Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center, where you can go down there and get all your reading materials. You can also find them online. You can go get some whole bunch of supplies, a lot of things dealing with our culture. Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center is owned by my good friend Kip Johnson, Athena Johnson, Carlos Franklin, Athena Johnson, my good friends down there. Y'all go down there and see them and tell them that I sent you on down there. Okay. Last time I told them to go on down there, Brother Feaster, Yusef,
Right.
he went down there, he bought something.
Okay.
So last time he was here, he left out of here. He went.
I got you.
You got me.
I got
You got me.
I got
Okay.
you.
All right. Good brother. How's it doing, man? And we welcome you to the show. And thank you for coming out. Like I said, this is the show. This ain't the call them out show.
Right.
You get what I mean? That's what we try not to do.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a lot of shows.
Right.
You get what I mean? They like to embarrass people,
Right.
tear them down and all that kind of. We don't do that. We try to stay away from that
Okay.
as best we can,
Right.
except for when the person is bringing harm and injury to our community. Then we got to put
Gotta
that
do
stuff.
what you gotta
We
do.
got to do what we got to do.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But we want, this is an informative show. Remember, I was just telling you about everything.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
cussing and stuff. But anyway, this is an informative program
Right.
that people going on. People need to know who their elected officials are.
Okay.
They need to know what they stand for, what they can expect from them, and what they don't expect from them. Now, I understand you're an attorney,
I am.
okay? And you know, I watched every episode of Law and Order. I watched every episode of Perry Mason.
Okay.
I watched every episode of Matlock.
Okay.
I think I can pass the bar.
I think we probably could.
Oh, could probably
Yeah.
pass the bar,
Yeah.
right? So I'm gonna treat you.
Okay.
We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna treat you as a hostile witness.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
Can we get out like that? Okay,
Let's do
so
it. Let's do
so
it.
because I feel like I'm picking on you. I'm treating you as a hostile witness. Okay.
I got
Torso Feaster. First of all, tell us who you are.
you. Okay.
All right, good brother.
All right. Yeah, my name is Torso Feaster. I'm
Okay.
an attorney. Been an attorney for about a little more than 15 years.
Okay.
My whole practice has been criminal defense work. And so my goal when I went into criminal defense work was to try to put myself out of business.
Okay.
What I mean by that is we have so many people who continue to go through the system over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And so I went into that field to try to help those people, try to make sure that we can redirect them and keep them out of the system. And for 15 years, I've been serving our state, serving our communities, trying to make sure we can help people. And so I'm just happy to be here, continuing the work I'm doing. And now I'm trying to become a judge to further that ambition.
Okay, good brother. All right, that's fair. And you said you said you're happy to be here. Now,
Yes, sir.
you here in Ypsilanti,
Yes, sir.
but when you came on, I said I'd never seen you before, good brother. So
Right.
what you doing in our neck of the woods? I'm talking treat you as a hostile
No,
witness,
that's-
right?
you
Okay,
got
what you doing in our neck of the woods, man? Talking about you want to run for judge
Yes,
around here.
sir.
What,
Yes, sir.
how you get here?
All right. Well,
Okay.
originally I'm from Flint.
Okay,
So I'm from Flint.
I ain't got
area.
nothing against Flint.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
I came down here originally back in 2001
Mhm.
when I went to Eastern Michigan University.
Okay,
And I was on campus till 2004. I graduated in 2004, went on to law school. Then I went back to the Flint area, moved back down here when I got married in 2010
Mhm.
and lived here from 2010 to 2014.
okay.
Then my wife took a new job. We left for a year, moved back to the Flint area, and we recently came back here again to settle down with our two daughters to get our family settled. We built a house and we're here for the long run.
Okay.
So I didn't come here with the ambition to be a judge.
Okay.
I came here to try to raise my family, support my wife's career,
Mhm.
and to be in a good, safe, enriching community, and to try to serve the people here like I was serving the people when I lived in Flint previously.
Mhm.
It popped up that this opportunity arose.
Okay.
And our Judge Tabby, right there on Michigan Avenue,
Mhm.
decided that he was not going to run for re-election.
Okay.
Nobody knew he wasn't going to run for re-election.
Mhm.
I had no clue he wasn't going to run for re-election. And I had no interest in running for politics again.
Mhm.
I was done with all that stuff when I left the Flint area.
Mhm.
But when I came down here and I started doing my work here with the Public Defender's Office, and I've been serving this community, some judges and some people came to me and suggested, we think you'd be a good person to fill this seat. The city of Ypsi, where the court is located, has never had a judge of color.
Mhm.
And we think that you have the legal acumen and you're in touch with the community's needs.
Mhm.
And we think you'd be a great asset to the community. And we'd love for you to run for this seat. And I initially told him no,
Okay.
because I didn't come here for that.
Right.
I came here to work as a defense attorney and to serve in that capacity. But after thinking about it and praying about it and talking to my wife about it, I decided after about 4 or 5 days that I would go ahead and do it, given that, we plan and God laughs.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Yeah, they say if you want to make God laugh, make a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And so I came down here with the plan to
Mhm.
raise my kids and support my wife's career. My wife is an OBGYN.
Okay.
She's a doctor here at University of Michigan Hospital. And
Okay.
she went
All right.
she went to undergrad here,
Mhm.
got 2 graduate degrees here, and did residency here.
Mhm.
So we've been engaged in this community for 20 of the last 21 years.
Okay.
In one way or another. And so rather than have my wife on that freeway doing that commute back and forth from Flint, we settled here to
Okay.
help her career and to help her grow. But like I said, I came here with that plan,
Okay.
just to raise my family, support my wife, and to serve the community as a defense attorney.
Mhm.
I didn't know this opportunity was coming available, wasn't in my plans, but God opened this door. And when God opens the door, you'd be a fool not to walk through. And so when God tapped me on the shoulder and told me, I think this is for you,
Mhm.
then I said, yes, sir. I'm gonna try to follow you. I'm a believer. And so I'm putting my name forward. I'm hoping the community embraces me.
Mhm.
And I know that I have some great plans and some vision that can really change the community, can change the way the justice system interacts with our community and can move us forward. And so that's why I'm here.
Okay. Ain't nobody can judge whether or not a man's been touched or called by God. That's between that person and the individual that they choose to call God, right? So I can't question that, right? Now, I was going to ask you about this question, right? Because Carl Barr.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl Barr.
I know Carl.
Okay.
I like her.
I like him too, right?
Nice guy.
Carl's a hometown guy.
He is.
You get what I
He
mean?
is, yeah.
And I had him on the show,
Okay.
right? And because of hometown guy, and I had him on the show, but also at the time that I talked to God, to Carl as a running for judge,
Right.
there was no other persons in the race.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, because see, I'm FC all the way through and through,
Okay.
South Side. You know
All
what I
right.
mean? South
I got
Side.
you.
So because he's a hometown guy, you get what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I'm hometown, long time. You get what I mean? I don't jump across. You know what I'm saying? Right? But the question I was going to ask you, how do we not call you a carpetbagger?
Yes.
But I believe that you answered that question by saying that this wasn't part of your plan to do that.
No, sir.
Okay, now I know attorneys, man. Y'all good with the words.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
that's why I got to treat you like hostile witness. You know what I mean?
I
I'm saying,
understand.
yeah, I watch it.
You got to get to know me.
I got to get to know
you
you.
got to know if you can trust me, how you
Yeah.
feel about me, and
Right.
hear my story.
And that's why I invited you on the show.
I appreciate
And that's
it.
what I'm saying. And so you come with some high recommendations.
Okay.
People who I blindly trust.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
And they said you need to get the brother on here. Okay. Now, one of the things that one of my trusted people said, and you said it straight up and down, you said that there hasn't been a black person. Let's say it like this, right? Because I don't use the phrase person of color. You know why?
Yeah,
Because what's the difference between a person of color and a colored person?
got you.
Y'all being real slick with the word.
I
You
got
feel what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
What's
I
the
got
difference between a person of color person?
I'm a black man.
You're a black
I'm a
man.
black
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
racially classified as black in
Yes,
America.
yes.
Okay. So one of the things that one of the persons I trust a lot said that plus we need to have somebody black. We have somebody black in office, right?
Right.
Now I didn't vote for persons because they black around here for a long time. And what I can tell you, just because voting for somebody black, just because they black don't mean
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
It
It don't guarantee nothing. And in fact, if you go look around our community, you will see that we ain't been getting what we was expecting because we was voting somebody because we thought they was black and they had our best interests.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
Yusef just said straight up and down, say it. He started talking about the money game. And when I found out once them folks go to the seafood dinner and get all you can eat seafood, crab and shrimp and steak, they come back a whole different person. They'll flip on you in a minute. What you thought they was going to do, once they get their bellies full, they don't switch up on you in a minute.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So when the persons tell me that I should vote for you because he black,
No,
right? That don't mean nothing.
That ain't the reason.
You know, black folks don't have a monopoly on good and white folks don't got a monopoly on evil.
Agreed.
It goes all through. You get what I'm saying?
Agreed.
But money corrupts and it corrupts absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay, right. So why should I vote for you? Because I don't know you. I'm treating you as a hostile witness.
Right.
Why should I vote for you other than You black.
Right, well, yeah, and I said, don't vote for
Okay.
me because I'm black.
Okay, run it to me right now,
Okay,
brother.
So,
Okay.
so me being black is an additional benefit.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. Hey. I like that.
So it's not the reason to vote for.
Okay.
If you look at my history,
Mhm.
look at what I've done throughout my career.
What have you done,
Yeah,
bro?
let me tell you about what
Okay.
I've done. Okay,
All right.
so I've been doing this for about 15 years. And you
Okay.
can go back past that to my time at Eastern, serving on boards in this community, being a part of the College Democrats, the NAACP, going to DC to march when I was in college here at Eastern, and going to law school when I started organizations like the Charles Hamilton Houston Civil/Human Rights Organization
Okay.
to try to change the Dayton community,
Mhm.
which is a community I was only living in for 3 years, but while I was there, I wanted to make an impact.
All right.
When I started the Leaders in the Community Law Society at the University of Dayton School of Law to try to teach our lawyers at the law school that by virtue of being an attorney, you're going to be viewed as a leader. And so you have to be able to use that to make change in our community. And so I started that group to try to teach lawyers or future lawyers how to be better engaged in our communities and how to lead them the right way, as opposed to the wrong way. When I came back home to Flint, some of the things that I did was I worked with Judge Barkey to help create the mental health court for Genesee County to try to touch people who have mental health illnesses and to redirect them from the justice system. Then I learned from that experience to create the City of Flint's Blight Court, which was a court to help clean up the city.
Okay.
To try to help make sure people maintain their property, shoveled their snow, picked up their litter, and I did that. And what I'm probably most proud of is my work with the homelessness court that I helped create with the Center for Civil Justice. And that was important because we have an unhoused community of people in the state of Michigan, in Flint, in Ypsi.
Yes, we do.
Who, in my experience, don't feel comfortable going to the courthouses. I've seen judges tell the unhoused defendants when they came to court, they said, "Oh, you're homeless? Oh, I have a place I can put you."
Yeah.
Okay. And so a lot of my clients didn't feel comfortable going to the courthouse. And so what I did was the Center for Civil Justice was I created a court system that went to homeless shelters. And so we took a judge from downtown out to the different homeless shelters and held court right there. And that's important.
Let me back up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You held court in the homeless shelter.
In the shelters. So they didn't have to
Never
come
heard that
downtown.
before.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so that's the kind of vision I think we have to try to change our community. And so we went to the homeless facilities, the shelters, and we held court right there. And what our primary focus was to lift bench warrants. Because people who have bench warrants, they're not eligible for federal grants to get federal housing. And so that's part of the reason why they're unhoused. So if we could lift those bench warrants, then we could help get them into housing so that they were no longer unhoused or homeless.
Okay.
And so that's something I'm very, very proud of. So I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk.
Okay. All right.
So you check out my resume, you see what I've done, and I've lived this. I didn't go into this to get rich. Otherwise, I wouldn't have went back to Flint.
Right.
I didn't get into this to make a whole bunch of money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a public defender right now. I got in this to make a difference and to change our community. And so for the past 15 years since I've been back home in the state of Michigan, I've been doing that. And that's what I'll continue to do if I'm elected to the bench here.
Okay, man, I'm liking what I'm hearing, you know what I'm saying? And you made a lot of clarity because, I'm not unfamiliar with going before the bench.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But you just hit a bell on me. I remember the questions they would ask. What's your address? And do you have a job?
Right.
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 And now I'm hearing the bell ring in my ears because I did have a job and did have an address that kept my behind probably out of jail from a whole lot of places.
Right.
Because the next thing was said, I got somewhere you can go, I can fill these beds up and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I like that. So you sounding pretty good, brother. You sounding pretty good. You know what I mean? We already there. You know what I mean? Because we know attorneys, they already, the work.
Yes,
you get what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yeah,
And like I said, and what have you. So you said you created this homeless court, right? And we do know that we have only one homeless shelter here in the city of, not in the city, but in the city of Ann Arbor, Washington County, called the Delana Center.
Yeah.
And on any given night, that place is full to capacity. Packed.
Yeah.
And then folks who aren't be able to get in, they actually give them a tent and a sleeping bag.
Because they don't have space for them.
They have space for them, right? So as being a judge, how impactful could you be in reducing the homeless rate? I mean, as a judge, because you there, to pass sentencing.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
Based upon the information that you receive,
Right.
litigating and mitigating circumstances.
Right.
I seen that on Law and
I see you. I see
Order.
you.
Okay, all right. So I'm saying based upon litigating and mitigating circumstances.
Right.
Now, by not being from this area,
Right.
and you keep on seeing this person, you may not know this person is coming before the bench numerous of times. One thing you got is what the prosecutor has given to you,
Right.
and they're recommending that this person is being incarcerated.
Right.
Not, let's just say this, not having the lifetime in number experiences here in the city of Ypsilanti as a Carl Barr.
Right.
How could you handle cases like that by not being indigenous to the city of Ypsilanti and not understanding the environment and this person's background?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? That
So-
qualifies you to pass judgment.
Right. So
Okay.
So poverty, and homelessness,
Okay.
drama, and trouble
Mm-hmm.
isn't exclusive to Ypsi.
Okay.
It's not exclusive to
Correct.
Flint. It's
Mhm.
not exclusive to Detroit.
Right.
So just because I've lived in Flint longer than I've lived in Ypsi,
Mhm.
or I've worked there longer than I've worked here,
Mhm.
doesn't mean I don't know the problems that are happening here.
Right.
Okay. I make it my business to try to understand what's going on in the street
Mhm.
because I have to work with my clients every day who live it.
Right.
And so I stood with my clients when they had to go to prison for the rest of their lives.
Mhm.
I stood with their families when they had to deal with some of the most difficult
Mhm.
things in their lifetimes. And so I've learned from that experience the struggles of our people everywhere, not just in Flint, not just in Ypsi. And so I can use what I've learned in those experiences anywhere,
Mhm.
including here. And so I know what's going on here, and I will put my foot to the ground and I will work it. I'm not going to be one of those judges who you just see in the courtroom.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to be somebody who's involved in the community. And that's part of the problem with a lot of judges we have in the state,
Mhm.
is that you only see judges around election time.
Okay.
And they don't come out to events in the community and organizations, and they don't serve outside of doing the 9 to 5.
Mhm.
And so what we have to do is be present in the community.
Okay.
One of the things that was most important to me growing up is that I met people who had made it to positions that I never thought I could get to.
Okay.
And so that's what a judge needs to do. If you're involved over at Parkridge, if you're involved in other areas of the community, then the young people can see you and they can aspire to be you or to be better than you. And so that's what our judges have to do. And so the only reason why I'm here today is because when I was growing up, there was a mayor of the city of Flint who was a Black man.
Mhm.
And I didn't know who this person was. My dad worked at the shop. And so every day after work, once a week after work, he'd come pick me and my brother up, throw us in the back of the pickup truck, and he'd take us to go cut grass. And that was our job.
Mhm.
And so after we were cutting grass one day, we stopped to get lunch. And we stopped at a restaurant, and this Black man walked in, tall, wearing a suit. Everybody's speaking to him, acknowledging him, respecting him. And I said to my dad, who is this man in this suit?
Mhm.
Because I don't know, I hadn't seen Black men in suits outside of church on Sundays.
Right.
That wasn't something that was normal.
Mhm.
And so my dad said, that's the mayor of the city of Flint.
Okay.
And I said, that guy is the mayor? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I think I want to be mayor one day. I
Right.
said, I didn't know that was a possibility
Mhm.
for people like us. And so that kind of influence is what a judge can have in this community.
Right.
And so a judge who is actively involved and engaged can change the way that we see ourselves and we see our future. And so that's what I can do if you put me in this position.
Okay.
That's what I will do. And I want you to hold me accountable.
Right.
So I want you to come tell me if I'm not doing what I said I'm gonna do,
Right.
because I'm a man of my word. And I think everything I've done in my past proves that.
Okay. Hey, brother, you sounding real good. Sounding real good. You get what I'm saying? You know, but we're gonna leave it up to the jury.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
to the
Yes,
people,
sir.
right? You know what I'm saying? You know, but you said something. Being a Black man is being a plus to this.
Yes.
To an untrained and untuned ear, that would almost sound like for somebody who would use that, saying that's a racist term.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
just saying for an untuned.
I
To
understand.
me, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
That is a plus
Yes, sir.
because you have the life experiences. You get what I mean?
I do.
Not just coming up through through America as a racially classified as Black person, but being in the halls and seeing things that you know that this is based upon the decisions were based upon somebody's skin color.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
And however, we know that hatred is simply cloaked in the term
Right.
white supremacy.
Right.
You get what I mean? And that's why I said it has neither, black people don't have monopoly on love and white people don't have a monopoly on hate.
Right.
You get what I mean? It hides itself in all kinds of ways, right?
Right.
But we need people such as yourself
Yes.
who have the ability to traverse the terrain
Okay.
based upon their life experience, and then they be able to legislate and be able to pass judgment according to that person's life experiences.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so I understand that. One thing that you said was that being out in the community,
Right.
right? It's not too often that we see our judges
Agreed.
in the community.
Agreed.
I can say that. It wasn't until recently that we actually seen a prosecutor and assistant
Yeah.
Ellie Savin and
Yeah.
Victoria Burton
Right.
actually engaging into the community.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right, to make sure that the persons who need the help the most
Mhm.
get the most help.
Right.
That's my definition of justice.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? But how do you go on with what I'm just saying? How do you respond as a judge to say that this black person may have done a crime
Okay.
that warrants, according to the statute,
Yeah.
you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Jail time.
Okay.
Now, I know on the federal level that you have sentencing guidelines. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your sentence isn't in the hands of the judge, it's in the hands of the prosecutor.
Mhm.
Okay. So how do you have to go back out in the community, not just in quote unquote black Ypsilanti, but you got to go in Ypsilanti as a whole. And because it won't be just you, there's no way you would win the judgeship if you were expecting on black people to vote. Let me just put that.
Right.
Let's keep that 100.
Let's not be everybody.
There's got to be everybody. But how do you tell your constituencies, man, you know you should have locked that brother up. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you won't. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You know the language.
Yeah,
Right?
I do. And like I said, it's a time when people have to be locked up. So
Okay,
I mean, so
all right.
it's not everybody gets to
Mhm.
go home at night. 'Cause
Okay.
sometimes people do things where they have to go to jail,
Right.
or worse.
Mhm.
Okay, but there are times when we can address the things that people need help with.
Okay.
Because sending people to jail doesn't always or often fix the problem.
Mhm.
Like I told you earlier, I see a lot of repeat customers.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
and so sending them to jail sometimes if necessary,
Mhm.
but there's also often other things we can do,
Mhm.
and I think that's why we need to focus on these mental health,
Okay.
substance abuse, lack of education,
Mhm.
and lack of employment.
Okay.
Those I think are the four key things that we can do from the bench in sentencing.
Right.
Working with community groups, nonprofit organizations, and working with our probation department to connect our defendants with those organizations to try to redirect them. So if my sentence says that I want you to go through probation,
Mhm.
I want you to get a job, I want you to work with X program to help get you this employment. And
Right.
if the person is willing to do those things, then that can really turn their lives around rather than just putting them in jail for a year.
Right.
Okay. If the person needs education and we can connect with a program, maybe the person doesn't want to go to college.
Right.
Maybe they want to go to a trade school. Why are we not partnering with trade organizations to help the person who comes through the system learn how to be a plumber, an
Okay.
electrician,
Right.
a heavy engine repair
Mhm.
person? We can do those kind of things, but it's going to take a judge with some vision to put people in those positions and to partner with those groups to open those doors for our citizens. And that's what I want to be able to do.
Yeah. I believe it's some said somewhere, without a vision, our people perish without a vision.
Yes.
And that's my word right there. Because if it sounds like I'm picking on folks, I ain't picking on folks because it's past time selecting people based upon name recognition.
Right.
It's past time voting for people because they're black.
Right.
It's past time not voting for people because they white.
Right.
But when you said you have a vision,
Yes.
you get what I mean?
Yes.
That I like that. You know what I'm saying? So and I actually enjoyed what you said and entertained what you say when you said getting people involved with nonprofit organizations.
Right.
I'm a member of a nonprofit organization, and I'm not going to what am I trying to say?
We'll plug
Plug in right now. You get what I mean? Because I try to keep those values of that organization and what's on ear to the ground separate. You
All
feel
right.
what I'm
I got
saying?
you. I got you.
Although I may live those values,
You don't put them here.
put sincerely. You get what I mean? But to work with nonprofit organizations, like you said, to get into the trades and
Right.
stuff like that. I like that because this is graduation season as puzzles,
Right.
right? And we see on Facebook, and I wrote a post about this morning. We see on Facebook about the college grads going on.
Right.
We see about the prom. We see about everybody who's getting an A and stuff like that.
Right.
But everybody doesn't get recognized unless you're going to college.
Right.
You got a basketball scholarship. It's more than, you feel what I'm saying?
It's more than that. And that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Mhm.
It's that everybody doesn't want to go to college.
Mhm.
And I got so many friends who came down here to Eastern with me,
All right.
went to college and paid all that money for those 2 years and left.
Okay.
No degree. They're still paying back college debt
Woo.
because they weren't here for that reason.
And didn't even get a degree. It's
Didn't
still
get a
it's
degree.
old folks' money.
Still paying that.
Okay.
But they came down here because that's what they were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people told them to do.
Right.
But they had skills in making things. They had skills with their hands. But we haven't directed people into those fields.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't do it for whatever reason. And we can. And those fields make 6-figure salaries.
Yes. Trust me.
Yes.
I'm an electrician.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
So I know what they're getting paid out
Right.
there, right? I'm not getting it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying I ain't getting it because let me just say that I'm doing more work.
Right,
You get what I mean? Sometimes my dad get mad at me because he like, boy, you got all that stuff like that, you know, and other people don't understand too how sometimes my pocket ain't got no money.
Right.
You get what I mean? Because it ain't about money.
Right.
I didn't have money. I know what money do.
You ain't
And I know
doing
what
that
money
for
don't do.
Right.
It don't buy happiness.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I know, like you said, 6 figures, that's what they're getting right
I
now
know.
off the break.
I know.
Okay.
I know. So we can do better than what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
because we're pushing people into this one system that is not right for everybody.
Right.
It's not a one size fits all.
Mhm.
And so what the court can do is have an idea, have a vision, and then implement plans by partnering with groups to help people who don't fit into that system find other ways to be successful.
Mhm.
And that's what's ultimately going to make our community better
Mhm.
by helping those people. And that's what I want to do.
And I like that. What have you? Get into a little bit of history, a little bit, if you can. I believe because I was trying to find some information from you, and we don't have the newspapers like to do and stuff like that. And I like to do my own research and everything as opposed to like that. Flint water crisis.
Right.
Did you have any involvement with that?
I did not. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
All right, brother.
All right. So the way I saw the water crisis, because
Mhm.
obviously I was living, working in Flint at the time when all that happened.
Okay.
The way I saw it was that the people of Flint were never going to be made whole.
Okay.
They were never going to
Mm-hmm.
get paid out of the water crisis.
They wasn't gonna get no reparations.
It wasn't going to happen.
We're gonna
It wasn't going to
okay.
happen. And I had big law firms from New York and LA and DC calling me, asking me, will you be our face on the ground? Will you be our lawyer to get people to come and sign up for our class action? Sign up for this, sign up for that. And I refused.
And I know why you refused just by listening to you,
Mhm.
but why did you refuse?
I refused because it wasn't going to help people.
Hello.
It was going to help those lawyers.
Right.
It was going to help them make millions of
Mhm.
dollars.
Right.
But it wasn't going to help not one person in Flint get rich
Mhm.
off of the water crisis. And so I refused to be a part of the water crisis litigation.
Litigation.
Yes.
Right.
I had colleagues who were,
Mhm.
other Black attorneys who signed up for those
Mhm.
roles. But I personally refused to because you can look at it now. People, the citizens of the city of Flint who were affected, they're not getting paid.
No.
They're not getting made any better.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't going to be for them. And I didn't go into this field to get rich. I went into it to help people.
Mhm.
And me signing up with those big law firms wasn't going to help anybody, but those lawyers in DC, LA, and New York. So I refused.
Yeah. And thank you for taking that courageous stand because too many of us don't have the willpower to turn down money.
Right.
You get what I mean? And I know folks right now
Mhm.
in this circumference, you get what I mean?
Mhm.
Who have turned their backs on the people for dollar bill.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then, like I said, you can look around our community and not just, I live in Ypsilanti, right? I'm just saying, you can look around any community where it's predominantly Black folks and you can see the same type of behavior going on everywhere.
Right.
And all you got to do is find somebody who ain't got a lot of money.
Right.
And then you get what I'm saying, give them a little bit more money and they'll do whatever they want to do.
Whatever you tell them.
You know what I'm saying? So you talking about dealing with people who have billions of dollars.
Right.
to give you $1 million, who you ain't never had $100 at one time,
Right.
you would do any damn thing. You get
Right.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And don't be dancing around here like Bojangles.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
The puppet master pulling the
Right.
strings to do whatever you want
Just to get
because
that
you
money.
sold just to get that money because you sold your soul.
Right.
You know, to the company store. So I understand that.
Yeah.
I dig all that, right? But hey, you know, so how and like I said, I talked to Carl.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
Oh, what's it?
I want what's best for the people.
Right.
I don't get, you know, you my mans.
Yeah.
You my partner,
Right.
right? But what's best for the people?
Agreed.
You get what I mean? And we can't agree what's best for the people. And persons want to be in office just because they want to have that title on there.
Well, that road.
That robe,
Yeah,
you gotta put that
yeah,
robe on
right.
there, you get what I'm saying? And that's not what I'm saying about Carl
Right,
at all. And
right,
that's not
right.
what I'm saying about you.
Right.
But what's best for the people. So sometimes the best way to do that is to put two people together in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get with Carl
Okay.
and see if maybe we can get y'all in the same place.
Sound good.
Yeah.
Sounds
Because
good.
one thing I do know is sometimes when people are vying for the same position, they come to find out that they have some of the same things in common. Instead of becoming opponents, they become allies.
Okay.
And we're talking about building a community.
Yes, we
you
are.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to be fair, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because this is what the ear to the ground is. You get what I'm saying? Is putting information out. Maybe we can get you and Carl together in the same room. And then Carl, because like I said, I didn't know who you were.
Right.
I didn't know who Carl was. I knew Carl's
of
name.
him,
I knew
yeah.
of him. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't mean I'm changing my mind.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I'm you know, I'm affiliated.
I know.
You get what I mean?
I know.
You feel what I'm saying?
I
I
know.
can't say, man, you know what I mean? I may just change mine because what you no, that
Yeah.
ain't what I'm saying.
I got you.
I still stand on the principles that Carl is somebody who is very familiar with the terrain.
Right.
But I also understand because I can't compromise this because a leopard can't change his spots.
Yeah.
He may change his thought process, but he can't change the spot. I know what it is to be a black man in white America having to go face a judge.
Right.
You don't get the same treatment.
No.
I know that from straight up and down from being in brothers in the penitentiary and then actually reading the newspaper, having been charged with the same crimes. And then it's
Different
different sentences.
Yep.
I'm talking about life experiences.
Right.
I ain't talking about what y'all think you heard.
Right. What
I'm
I
talking
see,
what
what
I've
I
seen
know.
and what I know.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we need persons on the bench. We need persons in prosecutors. We need persons as defense attorneys who live the life and have the life experience, who are best able to not simply understand, but articulate
Right.
to the jury what's going on.
Mhm.
You dig what I'm saying?
I do.
Right. And so that's why I say, I'll go back again and saying this straight up and down. White don't have a monopoly on evil and right and wrong,
Right.
and blacks don't have a monopoly on goodness.
Right.
Because we got some brothers around here, some heinous motor scooters.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, we
Like
do.
what you said.
Yeah.
There's some folks around here, you got to go. You got to go.
Yeah.
You got to get up off the block.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Can't have you
You
here.
can't have you around here.
Yeah.
And I'm telling that straight up and down.
Right.
You got to go. But then there's another segment of our community, and it's unfortunately,
Yeah.
you get what I mean, who wouldn't like to see you in office.
I know.
I'm talking about a segment of our community.
I know.
I'm talking about black folks.
I know.
And the reason why they want to have you off is because of exactly what you said right there.
Mhm.
Because their mindset, there's a book over there that I have somewhere over there. Oh, I stacked it up there, that Victoria Burton Harris. It's stacked up behind the door anyway, but I'm gonna get it. But anyway, it deals with talking about black people who believe that black people who have been committing crimes, all of them need to go. And we got people around here who do not believe in my definition of justice, which is people who need the most help, should get help the most, but they want all black folks. Lock them up.
Yeah.
Seriously, lock them up. We got a bunch of folks around here like that, man.
The problem with that logic, trying
Okay.
to cut you off, but
No, you good, brother.
But the problem with that logic is they eventually come home.
Right, okay. Break that down.
So yeah, we can send them away,
Mhm.
okay? But what are they doing when they come back?
Mhm.
What if they learned in Jackson?
Right.
Have they learned something that's going to make them when they come back better?
Mhm.
Or are they going to be even worse for wear when they get back than they were when they went in?
Right.
And so we can send them away, but is that what's best for the community? Because ultimately we're going to have to deal with them again in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. And so that's why I like to focus on how can we change the direction that person was going? Because one way or another, they're either going to be here doing good or they're going to be here doing bad. And we can be a part of redirecting them to the good, or we can send them away and have them come back even worse.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think we can do other things other than just put people in Jackson. We've got to try to change the ones that we can change and help them get the resources that they need so that they don't continue that life. Because if we don't do it, it's going to continue the same cycle over and over and over
Right.
again. And so that's why I want to do this. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay. And before we get out of here, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate my viewing audiences for spending on here. We're going a little bit longer than normally do,
Sorry.
but we want, no, you're fine. No, because we want to get information out,
Right.
and we got a lot of people who want to share this information. You get what I mean on this particular platform. So I decided to do, we just going to have 2 guests.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Yep.
And what have you. But I know that people have a limited attention span.
They do.
It no make no difference how good it is.
Cut off.
They cut off. You get what I'm saying? And that's human nature.
It is.
Yes, it is what it is, right? But if we can, because this is the same question that I asked Carl.
Okay.
You're running for district judge,
Right.
and then there's circuit judge.
Right.
Well, you have district court, then you have circuit court. You got Supreme Courts. You got federal courts, and you got this court and that court.
A lot of courts.
What is a district court?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the district court is what I call the people's court.
Okay.
Okay, it is the court on the bottom of the pyramid. Okay, so it's the one that's most likely for residents to interact with.
Mhm.
If you have landlord-tenant issues, you're going to come through the district court. If you have small claims, you're going to come through the district court. If you have civil suits under $25,000, you're going to come through the district court. And for the start of all criminal cases, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, they're all going to start at the district court level.
Okay.
And so if it's a
If it's a homicide.
it's coming through the district court
Okay.
first.
All right.
Okay, and I'm going to be the person who decides whether or not that the facts are sufficient for it to go up to trial.
And that's at the time of
Preliminary examination.
preliminary exam, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so that's what the district court is. It is the people's court. It is the court that is most likely to interact with our residents on a day-to-day basis. And so that's what I'd be doing if I was elected.
Okay, so I see that part I didn't know exactly how that process went. As the district judge, the person's hypothetically, I don't know what it is, but you got a property crime that's between let's just say this for the sake of argument. If you're below $1,000, it's treated as misdemeanor. If it's above $1,000, it's treated as a felony.
Okay.
So a person stole something, a car,
Right.
right? That's grand theft auto,
Yep.
punished by a felony,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have the discretion, put this scenario together, to look at this teenager
Okay.
or this person who may have a substance abuse problem,
Okay.
person who have a mental health issue,
Right.
and they stole my man's car,
Right.
right? That's grand theft auto.
Okay.
So you got the discretion to make that determination whether or not I'm going to send that up, keep it down here,
Right.
or we're going to send them up to circuit court
Correct.
with a potential person going to the penitentiary.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So what I'm listening to you back saying straight up and down is that by dealing with the homeless court and stuff like that,
Mhm.
from down at those levels, you'll be looking at the case as a whole, as opposed to say, this is statute number 4444567. This is what it warrants.
Yes.
I bound you over for trial for
So
circuit court.
yeah. So whatever. So
I told you I watched it.
all of them.
All of them. All right,
So,
bro.
yeah, so whenever I would have discretion
Mhm.
on issues,
Mhm.
I would be looking at the totality of the circumstances.
Mhm.
I'd be looking at the person, their background, their
Mhm.
history. I'd be looking at the crime, the possible penalties, and
Right.
the possible resolutions.
Mhm.
And if I had discretion in a case, then I'd make the decision whether or not that case should go here or there
Mhm.
based on all those facts. And so, yes, my initial inclination is to try to help people.
Mhm.
And so if we can come to an
Mhm.
agreement where we can get the person into something that's going to redirect them and help them address their issue, then obviously we want to do that. But if we're at a situation where the person maybe can't be, people feel that it can't be rehabilitated or has no interest
Yeah.
in rehabilitation, then it's got to go to the other one.
Mhm.
And so certain times cases are going to go to circuit court and they're going to go to trial and be resolved there. Certain times cases are going to be able to maintain a district and be resolved there. It just depends on the facts and circumstances. But obviously, and using my discretion,
Mhm.
I would, when I have it, I would use it to try to help people and make sure they don't come back to the system again.
Yeah, I heard what you said when you said your initial thought is to help.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
and I've experienced judges and I've seen stories is that their first inclination is to, why shouldn't I send you?
Yep.
Give me the reasons why I shouldn't lock you up.
Right.
And what your first inclination is, how can I help you?
Right.
And that's good, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I've watched every episode of Law and Order, Perry Mason and Matt Lockman.
Okay.
So I told that to Assistant Chief Prosecutor Victoria. Victoria told me, she said, look, you can also go to jail for there's a law against impersonating an attorney.
Oh, yeah, true. She's right about that.
She told me that.
So,
Right.
and Victoria's good people. I like Victoria. She's from Flint also.
Yeah. We gonna, y'all Flint folks. Okay, we ain't gonna go there. You know what I mean? Okay,
we just trying to serve.
Okay, we try to serve.
Yeah,
And let me say that before we go there.
Yeah.
That's something that we've got to stop doing.
Yes. And that's part of what you were saying.
Yeah.
Can't just be name recognition. It can't just be, it's gotta be who has a heart for the people and to serve. And so that's why.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. We also got to tear down those boundaries because we all we got.
Right.
So we got to tear down those boundaries that I'm from the South Side.
Right.
I'm from West Willow.
Right.
I'm from Sugarbrook. I'm from the Green. I'm from Apple Ridge. I'm from Ann Arbor. I'm from Belleville. Right. Because when it comes down to it, we all we got.
Agreed.
So we can't get into this because there was a time in the city, you get what I mean, that because the times has changed, you get what I'm saying? But we can't have somebody because they're from Detroit, right? Because they're from Flint, right? From Highland Park or whatever, coming to our community who has a mind to serve and a proven record that they are here to serve the people. But we want the first thing, because that's what we do in Ypsilanti. Oh, yeah. First thing we ask is, who's your people? Yeah. Who your people? Right. And then if you ain't got no pedigree, we don't, and we shun people away. Right. And that has caused us more harm in this community. You get what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And what have you. Oh, yeah. But however, there are carpetbaggers out there. Oh, yeah. You get what I'm saying? Jump around. And that's, we got a couple of them, straight up and down. You know what I mean? Don't have no experience, no nothing. You get what I'm saying? And want to run on name recognition. Right. You get what I mean? Right. But I believe don't have a heart to serve the people. Why they don't have the heart to serve the people? Because they don't have the experience of working with the people. Yes, sir. That's my personal opinion. Observational, ear to the ground, 197. I try to give my guests an hour to share, but I kind of exhausted. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're done treating me as a hot dog. I'm reading. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got on, let me see if I can pick it. I see, I'm gonna hit you with this, something like that. I see you got on the purple. The purple signify anything? You Q or something like that? No. Okay, I'm just saying.
But purple's the color of royalty, though.
Oh, okay, we ain't wrong with that. Okay, but I'm gonna hit you with something fashion thing. Yes, so what you want to do now is make sure your pocket square match your shirt as opposed to the tie. Ah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to be slick with it. You know what I'm saying, brother? Okay. I gotta change it up. You got to change it up. Make your pocket square match your shirt. Yeah. Okay, not just the tie. Right. Okay. All right, good brother. Appreciate that. Okay, all right. So before we get out of here, okay. Like I said, I try to give as much time as I can. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to cut you short because I had somebody on prior too. Yeah. I'm gonna allow you to share with some parting words of your choice. Okay.
All right. Well, I think I said most of what I wanted to say. Okay. I want to say thank you again for allowing me to come be on the program. I've enjoyed talking to you and to your listeners. Obviously, like I said, my name is Torshell Feaster. I'm running for 14A District Court Judge. That is the entire county of Washtenaw minus the city, so minus Ypsi Township and the city of Ann Arbor. Okay. I will be housed here on Michigan Avenue, and my primary jurisdiction will be the city of Ypsi. And so that is what I'm running for. That is what I'm hoping to be able to serve. I have a plan. I have a vision. My track record proves what I'm saying. I'm not just somebody here to try to steal a position or try to take something. I'm somebody here to serve. My record shows it. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions, any thoughts. My website is feasterforjudge.com. You can call my cell phone if you want at 734-480-8131. I'd love to talk to anybody who wants to talk, discuss how we can move our community forward. And I think I have a great plan to do that. Thank you again for having me.
Okay. Thank you. You've heard from Torshell Feaster on Ear to the Ground 197. As I said before, my name is Bryan Foley. Ear to the Ground 197 is brought to you by Tracy's Sweet Touch Productions. Tracy's Sweet Touch Productions has uniquely created gifts for any occasions. Y'all keep Tracy and her family in your prayers. Also, YouTube, Passionately Intrigued Arts, Instagram at Tracy's Sweet Touch Production, TikTok at Estella Fabulous, Pinterest, Miss Tracy E. Davis, email at DallasToDakota@gmail.com, and Facebook at Tracy E. Davis. Also, Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center is brought to you by, Ear to the Ground is brought to you by Blackstone Bookstore and Cultural Center, owned by Kip and Athena Johnson, Carlos and Andrea Franklin, right across the street from the Ypsilanti Public Library. When Yusef was here last time, he went to the store. You got me?
I got you.
You got me?
I
Okay,
got
you got me? Okay, right. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all see that little letter that's right here by his leg where it says $ Ear to the Ground 197. Slip something into the kitty sometime. You get what I mean? That's what it's there for. You know what I mean? Because that's how you out here, you see everything. A lot of people don't see, a lot of people don't see all this. You get what I'm saying?
This stuff costs money.
Costs money. So that's how we bring the information out. You get what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you, Margaret Knox. She said, good show, good information, and good music. And so we're looking for you, see you again. And we're gonna have you again over here, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's important that the people hear from the person themselves. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to hearing what somebody else got to say. Not your representative from you, right? So Ear to the Ground 197, we'll be back here next week at 11 o'clock. As I always say, and our theme is all power to the people. Thank you, good brother.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Really appreciate
All right.
it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry to put you in a position. I know you got relationship with Carol, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, you ain't put me in no position, right? I'm saying, right?
Thank you for having me.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I see you, Michelle. Thank you. Everybody out there still commenting. Everybody here listening, man. Yeah, folks is listening, right? Yeah. No. See, my mom always say this right here. That's why they have curtains in the voting booth.
Right. You do what you gotta do.
Do what you do.
I like it, Mom.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? You vote, and that's why they got curtains.
Right.
Who I vote for is personal, is my business. You get what I'm saying? But however I choose to vote, I want to make sure that in this particular time, that the best people, best candidates for the people, the best representatives of the people is elected office. You get what I'm saying? As Yusuf was saying, we're in a precarious time.
We are.
And
We go one way or
the
the
other.
other. So
Right.
we gotta pick. Are we moving forward?
Yeah.
Or are we moving back?
Yeah. Malcolm said also, no, it wasn't. It was John Henry Clark said, if we ain't careful, we can find ourselves back into being enslaved people.
I know.
And as far-fetched as you think that may be, because when you hear the horrors of chattel slavery,
Right.
you can find yourself.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
It ain't impossible.
It ain't much, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you take a look at what's taken across the country, in particular, what just happened in Buffalo, New York.
I'm telling you.
Them folks is loading up,
I
man.
know. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they ready to go. And this ain't no joke.
Right.
And you have a person such as Donald Trump and his regime, them Trumpsters, they ain't just out here playing, man. Yeah.
So we gotta figure something out. We gotta move forward.
Yeah. Denise Meadows says, good opportunity to meet this candidate.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they can still lighten up out there. I thought they all went home.
I look forward to meeting her as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there. Like, you share a lot of information needs to be, you
I got
know.
a plan.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I got a plan. So
Well, I did like the point that you said you had a vision.
yes.
Yeah, you get what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of people don't have a vision.
Right.
And they don't have a plan.
Right.
And then some people are not in here to listen to what the people have to say.
Right. What do you need?
What do you need?
What does the residents want from this position?
Exactly right.
So
What can we, what we expect for you, because at the end, the representatives are servants of the people.
right.
But so much has happened over the landscape now is that people become dictators,
Right.
and then they come and tell us
What we gonna do?
what we gonna do.
Yeah.
No, you
When
ain't.
you elect me.
You do. Right.
Yeah. I'm not your boss.
Right,
You
exactly.
my boss.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got that twisted around
Right,
here.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So it's very refreshing to hear you espouse those thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
Right.
I mean it.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Ear to the Ground 197. We'll see you next week, and I'm out of here. Peace.